Thank you for staying with us. Despite having one of the strongest data policies, there still remains a breach in Nigeria's internet security. According to the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Pantami, he reveals that there were over 12 million cyber attacks recorded between the 24th to the 28th of February, from which on election day alone, which was the 25th of February, it recorded about 7 million cyber attacks. He also revealed that the hacking attacks included distributed denial of service, email and IPS attacks, brute force injection attempts, detection evasion, amongst others. He says the goals and objectives of the National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy for a Digital Nigeria is to ensure a secured Nigerian cyberspace. But joining us in the studio to discuss more on this development is the CEO of Citygrid Technologies Limited and a cyberspace analyst, Tunde Oladipo. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Great to see you.
Perhaps give us a sense of how you analyze this statement coming from Pantami, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, telling us that between the 24th and the 28th, we have that number, 12 million attacks in Nigeria.
I expected it because cyber attacks are now with us, and they have cut across every sphere of our lives. And the truth is that there's nothing we can do about them now. At least we won't wish them away, not at this point. But for 12, almost 13 million attempts on INEC server in a few days is a lot. Is a lot. And on that particular day itself, we had about 7 million.
Yes.
It is a lot. And like I always say, cybercrime is big business now. It is very big business now. And people seize any opportunity whatsoever to hack into somebody else's data or server or computer one way or another in order to make money. And Nigeria is a very big country. Our election is a very, very big issue. That is why, from what Pantami said, there are attacks from all over the world. From all over, from within, from without.
And outside. How concerning is that, especially from outside?
It is concerning. It is concerning. The good news is that they were not able to succeed, at least from the data that we had. They are not able to succeed in any of the 12, 13 million. That's the good news. It means that the authorities are doing something right. No matter how bad it looks on the outside, in the inside, they are doing something right. Every country has a cybersecurity outfit. US had it immediately after the 9/11. UK, Europe, most countries have it now because they are aware that this is real. And it also cuts across different spheres of our lives. Like I said, in banking, in finance, in aviation, in logistics, people just hack other people's data, and it's staggering. For example, I stumbled into a report that said that 1 billion scam mails were sent in 2021 alone. 1 billion. And 236 million people were affected by account hacks. 236 million only in the first half of 2022. That's a lot. That's quite a lot. And there are some countries that we expect that they will have done beautifully well in protecting their own databases, like China, like Japan, and those places. They are almost the most vulnerable. Between 2021 and 2022, in China alone, they had over 4,000% more hacks, more account hacks than anyone else in the whole world. China, Japan, US, UK. In UK, 39% of businesses are afraid that they'll be hacked. are not just afraid, they are afraid that when they are hacked, their businesses will go down. Just one single hack, just one single cyber attack can bring down an entire business. So it is real. I am worried, but like I said,
What's your worry?
My worry is that it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. The only way is for us to be one step ahead of them all the time, like we've been doing in other spheres. Because I know that the Ministry of Communication and NITDA, they are pulling their weight in these areas.
All right. I'd like us to talk about the step ahead eventually, but what relationship do you draw? Because from what the minister said, on election day, there was almost half of the 12 million that he talked about on election day.
Yes.
What relationship do you draw from these attacks to the election?
This is from my experience and what I had. This is what happened. A hacker will not attack when there is no data to attack. If there is no information to attack, they won't attack. So on election day, if we get the logs, we find out that the attack started at around 2:30, shortly after voting ended. Between 2:30 and maybe 6, 7, because they want to intercept the IREV such that they can change, they will attempt to change the data and change the result sheets. So that is why the attacks are so high on the very, very day. And it's not just that with the DDoS that the minister was talking about, there are two sides of it. The first side is the side of people trying to get unauthorized access to the IREV. The other side is traffic. Don't forget that every polling station finished around 2 o'clock, maybe 80%. And all of the 80% will want to upload the result sheet around 2:30, 3, 4, 5. So 170 something or 180 something thousand people are attempting to send a picture, which is very heavy, across the network at the same time. So there is what is called stress test that I'm sure failed severally on that day. So when people are complaining that, we have finished voting, but we didn't see our result, it was because of traffic. So those are the kind of things. So going back to your question, the relationship is that people want to attack when there is data to attack. The best time to attack is when that data is in transmission. And that's what happened. That's what I think happened.
INEC had initially mentioned that there were several attempts on its system leading up to the elections. And then on that day, we saw what happened at the International Conference Center, where some political parties were angry that there was no transmission of results on the system. And is that what you think happened? Why INEC could not do any of that?
Yes, that's exactly what I think happened. And the INEC chairman has been complaining about attacks since the Ekiti elections, the Osun elections. He talked about it, that they knew people wanted to break into their database. And on the day of 24, 30 million votes simultaneously being uploaded, that's a lot, that's a heavy traffic. So if he knew that something was going to happen, because they attempted during the state elections, they surely were attempted during the presidential elections. And I know the communications ministry and all the infrastructure management companies that were hired will certainly have been on their feet. That's why we're able to prevent them from succeeding.
All right. We are looking forward to even more technology to be introduced into INEC processes. Now they came up with the beavers, which are supposed to transmit part of the result and so on. We're even looking forward, Nigerians are even looking forward to electronic transfer someday. But how does this how would this undermine the transmission of results electronically if there are attacks like this going forward?
Yeah, it will in some ways slow down the process, because while you are trying to do your job well, you're also trying to prevent somebody from preventing you from doing your job well. It is important for you to make sure that even if you don't do your job 100%, ensure that you prevent people 100% from reaching your data. Data is gold. Data is gold. The slightest opportunity that they have, for example, there's one Mr. Mike who works for TVC. And he's just a gentleman. He goes about his duties, does his things. Somebody just looks at him and says, well, let me try and investigate him. And he gets your salary information. And from there, he gets your account details. From your account details, it dives into another server to get your BVN. From your BVN, it gets your NIN. From your NIN, it gets almost every detail about you. And from there, he starts looking for whether you have an account outside your salary account. Maybe you have accounts in dollar. Maybe you have accounts offshore. Those kind of things, smallest possible information. He expounds it and finds out that you have children abroad and you are living on Wall Street. And he now opens just what WikiLeaks does. He looks for those sort of information. He looks for those sort of information and say, the Mr. Mike in TVC is not that clean. And you wonder how. His first point of contact was your salary information. And he expands it and looks for Veronica Zone 2, and looks for Nero Zone 2, and looks for Molaria Zone 2, and looks for, and say, the organization is filled with dirt. Just Mike's data. So it is gold. And people will do anything to get the money. And it's not only in hacking of people's data. There's what we call romance and trust cybercrime. Someone you say you love you, I love you, they send money. Do you know it is up to $900 million annually? Just trust. And there's what is called the sex, there's a word they used to call it, where somebody gets a nude picture and says that you must pay me money before, so that I don't release it to
the public.
Blackmail someone in that.
Blackmail someone. Those are over 300,000 annually. And there is what is called ransomware. The ransomware is that they will prevent you from accessing your own database until you pay them. Yes, the software. They write the software. They block your own access, block your own login profiles, block your network, your protocols. They deliberately change all of your protocols so that no matter how hard you try, they'll block you on your main server, they block you on your backup server, they block you on your third-tier server, and ensure that I have no access whatsoever to what actually belongs to you. They do it, they log to the banking and FinCon systems worldwide. So we're almost at their mercy. Data is gold. If somebody gets something as little as just somebody's name, they can turn into different things.
Now, this leads me to the next question. How well are we doing with security and protection of data as a country?
We have no choice. If we want to survive as a nation, we have no choice than to protect our data, protect our servers, protect our internet, protect the banking system, protect the military, protect the aviation systems. I've seen somebody deliberately, just for kicks, he hacked into a flight that he was able to change the altitude of the flight from his living room. He changed the altitude of that particular flight, that the pilot was saying, I'm losing height, I'm losing altitude. The pilot was struggling with getting back to his 40 or 30,000 feet. And this guy kept on putting it down. So extremely dangerous if we allow hacking to continue. As a nation, we need to protect ourselves. And I know, just like I said, there is CISA in the US, it's an agency of the Homeland Security Department. Every nation has it. Every nation. And one of the ways that we can survive all is for us to compare notes. When they hacked you in the US, they'll probably won't come to Africa, even though Africa has only 11% of all the global hacking. But we are also a very big part of that 11% as a nation. We need to take higher and greater steps, no matter how far or how fast we want to move. We must make deliberate steps to ensure that cyber attacks do not bring down our nation. They can try it at any level. They can try it at any level, even at the National Assembly. I've seen a country where they were voting, live voting, and somebody sat somewhere was changing the votes, just as they were accusing the Dominion voting system, that they were helping Joe Biden. The truth is that it is actually realistically possible. It is very, very possible. In my young days, I used to be a software developer, and those were the kind of mad things we tried to just do something that no one else has tried before. Even though we are doing it legitimately for proper things, but someone would think and do evil with those type of information. Some time ago, in 2015, City Great Technologies, we were thinking ahead that one day someone would need an election reporting system, not the voting, the election reporting. So we developed a software called ERDA, Election Reporting Data and Analysis System. It takes straight from the booth because we needed to have the proper data with integrity, straight from the polling units to the control room and to all the stakeholders. And it was technology from start to finish. Although we didn't use it then because the political party that contacted us wanted a different type of deployment. But the truth is that if you're going to have such a thing, it has to be something with integrity. Today, there are ethical hackers. They call it ethical hacking. And they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They go to school to learn how to hack. So they are with us.
When you talk about being a step ahead,
yes.
Talk to us what dimension this step ahead takes generally. For instance, INEC or even the banks or whatever the thing is. When you talk about where does it start from, being a step ahead?
Multidimensional. One, your hardware systems have to be top-notch because it's a lot easier.
Is it the model of the hardware or what's that?
It's a lot.
Okay.
The type of hardware you're using, the type of network communication and protocols you're using, the softwares that run on it, the kind of access that you give, the type of these days of open source, you have to actually protect yourself as much as possible. You need to also look at your backup recovery policies. If I have a main server here, terrestrial, am I going to have a backup server in the cloud? Am I going to have a third server physically in maybe a place like Europe? And going back to ethical hackers, you call them, they sit with you and attempt internally to hack your system. You employ ethical hackers to hack your system. For as long as they succeed, the developers of the protection system will know what to protect. These are the kind of things that, from the top of my head, when I heard the news, that I said, we need to be a step ahead of those guys. They will always want to attempt. We have I heard earlier when we were doing the newspaper review about funding. If you have enough funding, you have enough fiscal infrastructure, you have enough intelligence, collective, to be able to work on these things, we will beat them. We will always beat them. The US tries a lot. China, all of them try. But fortunately, we have been able to protect them, at least from this. I'm not saying same for the banking system, because I know there's a lot
going on there.
A lot going on, but they won't expose it because, of course, for obvious reasons, they won't be able to tell you that we got 300,000 hits. There is a statistic I saw. There is 14 hacking attempts, successful attempts on banking systems all over the world every second. In the whole of, in the first half of 2022, 14 every second. That tells you they won't stop. There is a lot of money in it. There is a lot of money in it. Somebody said that if cybercrime were a nation or a business, it would be the third most lucrative business in the world. After US economy, China economy, the third biggest economy is cybercrime. Because it grew from $3 trillion in 2015. Today is about 6 trillion and extrapolated to be up to 10.6 trillion by 2025, just 2 years down the line, 24 months.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, 10.6 trillion annually. 10.6 trillion annually from cyber crimes alone. That's a big industry.
It's a big industry.
The oil,
Doesn't come close. Doesn't come close.
All of them put together don't come close. All of them. Commodities, so name it. Real estate, all of them, all over the world, name it. They don't come to this menace that we have.
That we can do without.
Maybe one time or other,
God
will bring one guy that'll say, okay, I have the intellect to be able to prevent all cyber crimes.
Of hacking around the world.
Then we'll all die happy.
Well, but as individuals,
yes.
Let's talk individuals now.
How to
because
protect
on the
data.
phone, online, even on social media, the people are exchanging phone numbers. Okay, can I have your phone number so we can talk? You're sending this with ease, with an open mind, either on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter and so on. What should an individual look out for, especially when it comes to protecting his or her own information or data?
It's straightforward. Protect your information. You do not give out information to people that there's what is called the need to know. If somebody does not qualify for that bracket of relationship, the need to know, don't share it with. Don't share your password even with your wife. You never know. She could. Don't.
No, of course.
Don't.
Right.
Don't share your password with your husband, because she could get careless. Somebody who's been looking to hack into you.
But we know how that has caused issues.
It causes issues in the family, but this is reality.
How to reconcile that with socio-cultural relations and so on?
Change your password often on your phone, on your tablet, wherever you are. Change all the things you want to. You know that could help someone breach your security every 3 months or every 2 months, if you have that such presence of mind. Don't write down your password. Never write it down. Never use your date of birth or your wife's date of birth as your PIN. Those are they make it a lot easier for them. And of course, always remember the code that the bank gives you in case you lose your phone. That code that will help you to block your account. Don't ever forget it. Keep it with you. Keep it in your mind. So those are small, little ways of being careful. I'm a generally uncareful person. But when it comes to this sort of things, I'm always on my toes. Always on my toes.
You are in the industry, so you understand.
So you understand.
And you'll be very conscious and you know how to go about it. The others are just doing their thing on a daily basis,
So, but there are some persons who tell you can store your password in certain apps and all of that.
Yes.
How safe are those ones?
Yeah, it's true. It's an app. It can be hacked. It's straightforward. It's simple. I was at a stadium one time. I was trying to do a bank transfer, and one guy sitting behind me was stretching like this. A normal person will just say, okay, he's just interested in your phone. No, he's not. If he's able to cram my account number, he knows my bank, and he can cram my account number, he can get my BVN. It's very possible. Just by peeping. So me too, I just did like this. So after a while, he just left.
He knew that you were conscious.
Very conscious.
All right. We'll leave the conversation here now. CEO of City Grey Technologies Limited and a cyberspace analyst, Tunde Oladipo. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, everyone.